So I've been watching this series on the Holocaust. And, I'm playing on my phone while I'm watching the series, and I see two stories.
Battle was 57, and he had his son and his two grandsons here this past week. They were visiting for spring break. When Battle's son first got into town last week, he said his dad told him that he'd been in a physical fight with his neighbor after he said the man had called him the N-word. Well, they didn't see the neighbor until Monday, and that's when Battle's 5-year-old grandson told his grandfather the man next door had said something to him. So Battle took the boy to his neighbor's door to find out what happened. And Battle Jr. told me he didn't hear any arguing or any fighting, just a gunshot. And then he turned in time to see the second shot hit his father in the back of the head.
Based off what we told him, I thought it was going to be an arrest. About what he seen, I didn't think there was any clear-cut danger. He was with my son. My dad wasn't, he just wanted to know what he said to my son. That's what we were trying to figure out.
But today, criticism over the lack of an arrest in this case, it has been growing on social media with video.
And then this one. Activists Brittany, Packnett, and Symone Sanders were attacked yesterday in Delta Airlines lounge. The two had just wrapped up a trip to Nairobi, Kenya. They were waiting on their flight on Kenya Airways to head back home. They were sitting and relaxing in Delta Airlines Sky Club as an inebriated man walked in. He was speaking loudly and cursing to someone on the phone, Sanders told the Root. The lounge attendant and two other people asked him to quiet down. I interjected after he was rude to the lounge attendant, another black woman, according to tweets by Packnett. I leaned over and said, "Pardon me, will you please keep it down?" Then he began speaking even louder. Sanders continued. We look over again and he's now speaking in another language and giving us the middle finger. Mind you, we're all sitting on the same bench. So I get up and ask again, "Sir, please, this is ridiculous. No one is being rude to you and you're terrorizing the people in this lounge. It's not okay." He continues giving me the middle finger. I sat down. Then the flight attendant gets back up. The next thing we know, he jumps up and throws his water on the nearest person, Brittany, like drenches her whole body, then pushes her down. He lunges at her, and then I jump in to defend her. It was terrifying. Two men intervened and subdued the man. So after the post I made yesterday, I had a feeling that that wasn't isolated. What happened at the movies to the young ladies. And it's not. And it made me think of a post I made before this Brooklyn goes public thing, okay? I just want you to listen to this.
If you can, you have to assume that this person is a terrorist. And when you are dealing with a white supremacist terrorist who's harassing you, and you know that it's racial, and they're trying to instigate an incident with you, if you can, you should knock the shit out of them and leave immediately. If you can. You should knock the living shit out of them and protect yourself before they harm you, and then leave. I'm going to say it again. If a white supremacist suspected terrorist comes up harassing you, we need to stop waiting around to see what they're going to do. These white supremacists are very dangerous now. So you're going to have to protect your life. You're going to have to protect your children. Right to defend yourself from a white supremacist terrorist. You do. Now, if you're not in a position to do a hit and run, to knock them in the damn nose and leave, what you should do, when they start coming up with some kind of trumped up reason to call the police on you, saying that your child is selling water without a permit, or you're swimming in a pool and there's too many of you, do not argue with these people. Do not reason with them. They know what they're doing. These people are engaging in warfare. And you have to understand warfare, and you have to be strategic as well. So If they're talking about, hey, it's too many of you and I'm going to call the police because there's too many of y'all in the pool, you need to get on the phone or one of the people with you, because usually it's a lot of black people and they know how to push black people. This is usually, they go after soft targets. They go after women and children. So a lot of times you're not in a position to get your hit and run game on. You hit first and then you leave just in case some other white supremacists come and try to harm you. But if you're in a position where you cannot do that, am I advocating violence? I'm advocating self-defense. You damn right I am. I'm advocating self-defense. Black people, you have a right to self-defense. You have a right to defend yourself, especially if your kids are around these idiots. These people coming up to you, threatening your children. You have a right to defend yourself from a white supremacist terrorist. You do. 911. I suspect that there's a white supremacist here terrorizing me. I'm here swimming with my family, and some dangerous person that I suspect is a white supremacist, I think they're going to do harm to me. Black people, you got to get back in victim mode when you're dealing with these white supremacists if you ain't knocking them in the throat and bouncing. You got two choices. If you cannot defend yourself and bounce, then you need to get in full victim mode. You need to get in 100% victim mode. We got this thing as black people. We want to be the ones who yell the loudest, go off the loudest, and that ain't going to work for you. The white supremacists, they use that against you. You got to flip the script. They use that against you. They know you're going to get emotional. And the minute you get emotional, here they go, oh God, they're going to do stuff to me. They start getting into victim mode. We know they full of shit. You need to start being full of shit. That's the only time I say it's cool to act like a coon is when you're calling in a white supremacist. That's the only time it's cool to act a little coonish. Not full coon, meaning that you're assisting the white supremacists, but you need to get on that phone and start bucking your eyes and crying. Hello, Lord Jesus. Lord, help me. This 911. Ooh, Lord, I'm scared. I'm so scared, Lord Jesus. There is a white supremacist trying to get me. Right? Nigga, you sell that shit. You get on that phone and start buck dancing and sell it, crying. That's the only time it's cool to buck your eyes. You get on that phone and you call 911 too. If they're on the phone with 911, black people forget you can dial 911 too on these people. There's something about black folks who make them think that you don't really have to. You can't call 911 on these people. You need to get your side on record. I've been telling black people this for the longest. You need to beat them to the phone if you're not in the position to knock them in the damn throat and bounce. You need to get your side of the story on record. When you make a 911 call, usually it's recorded, and you can get a record of that later. So you need to have your own version of what happened on record. And what you need to do, hello, is this the police? I am so scared. Leave me alone. Are you serious? Are you serious? Can you help me? What more do you want from me? You better get on there acting like Crispy. That's the only time it's cool to coon up a little bit. You dig? Y'all need to flip it on their ass. That's the problem. Y'all, for some reason, black people are scared to flip shit on a white supremacist. No, see, the thing is, black folks, y'all want to call up and put your white voice on. Hello? Is this the police? Yes, I like to report an incident. No, no, no. No, nigga. No. Lord Jesus, is it 911? Hallelujah. I was going through something so terrible. Lord, there's a white supremacist. They spent to get me. I was in a whole heap of trouble. I mean, you sell that shit.
One day, my job sent me into a client. And there was a mix-up, and my job was on the phone telling me, to try to fix it. And I was, attempting to fix it for them, because if we fixed it, we were going to have to charge them to fix it. So my company was trying to tell them, just you guys fix it internally and then we won't charge you. So that's basically what the conversation was. Now, originally I was talking to one person, and then another person stepped in. This person happened to be a white gentleman. And I'm using the term gentleman loosely. And he just all of a sudden, he was like, oh, well, we're not going to have to pay for it because it's not our mistake. And I was like, well, it's not your mistake personally or your stores, but it's your company's mistake. And so we're trying to save your company some money. So he just got flustered and he's okay. And I was like, so is it okay for me to leave this here and go? And he's like, well, just wait a minute. I'm going to call your company. I said, okay, do you want me, can I leave, and you're gonna call, or do I have to wait? You just wait right now, you do it. I mean, he just started screaming at me out of nowhere, right? So at that moment, that's when I had that like world star moment. I was like, oh, this is about to get crazy. So I had my friend on the phone. I was like, did you hear that? And then he heard me say that, and the guy said, you know what? You just get out of my store right now and don't you ever come back. Child. Like I said, I already had that thought in my head, like this is about to be a world star moment. I walked right out. I never went back. My company tries to get me to go back. I refuse. I don't care how much money they pay me. I'm never going back. That guy told me to leave and never come back. I will honor his wishes. I'm not going to turn this. I don't have to go there. I don't have to be there. I'm going to leave before this turns into a situation where I have to protect myself. Somehow, some way, by hook or crook. Okay? I'm out. I'm out. Later on that day, my company and that guy wanted me to come back to the store, for business reasons. And I refused. No. Oh, he apologized. He wants to apologize to you. I don't want an apology. I want to honor his wishes and never return. Because the way I felt about it is what he told me was probably on tape. So now if I come back, he has the right to call the police and say, well, I told this black bitch not to come back. And here she is. And then he will have the right to defend himself because he told my black ass to leave and never come back. You see how I think? Something that small could snowball into something else. And so I don't want to deal with that. I don't care how much money I lose or how much money I gain. I'm not going back in there. So like I said in the beginning, I'm watching a documentary called The Destruction of the European Jew. There's about 8 parts to this series. It's on YouTube. I'm going to add links below. I'm watching this series because Frances Cress Welsing, when she graduated from college, she asked her parents asked her what did she want to do. She said she wanted to go to Germany and live with the German people and find out why they allowed Hitler to do what he did. So that's why I'm watching, like, with the rise of this happening. I want to see, I'm taking notes. I'm like being a student right now. I'm taking notes because I want to come back and detail to you all of this series of events that happened right before shit went down. You understand what I'm saying? Because I want us to be prepared. We need to learn from history. We look at history and we learn human behavior.